Welcome back, everyone. In today's video, we're going to get some sci-fi modeling done. We're actually going to build two kits that are available on my website right now at jasonjensentrains.com. Now, the first kit is a set of barricades. Now, keep in mind, this is 1/18 scale, so it fits figures that are anywhere from 3.5 to 4 inches tall. And the second kit is a pipe connector set. It is just a great detail set. It just adds a lot of detail to any model that you're building or diorama that you're building. All right, well, we have a lot to do, so let's get to it. For the first project, we're going to make the barricades. And this is what it looks like when you get yours in the mail. So the first thing we're going to want to do is cut these out. Very easy. And then we'll go ahead and cut these out too. Very simple. Okay, for now we'll just make one. So here's these three. Then we want to cut out these two. Now, don't throw away these pieces because I'm going to show you how you can use these at the end of the video. So these simply get glued to both sides. And then these get glued on right here, like that. Now you may have noticed that there was a rectangle engraved, and I will show you. I've already got two put together. Now that rectangle is to tell you where to paint a different color. So you can spray paint this. I spray painted my piece a teal color. I then masked this off and painted that rectangle yellow. Then I just spray painted these black and glued them on top. Now, you could do a white rectangle, yellow, light blue, fluorescent green, whatever color you want in the center there. It's up to you. Here's another one. I'm going to paint 7 of these to put on my sci-fi layout. Direct docking station is what it's called. So I'm going to quick do those, and then I'll show you what they look like when they're finished. But it's basically just spray painting all the pieces and then taking a couple shades of brown, like burnt sienna and bittersweet chocolate in a sponge, and adding some rust here and there to it. If you want to add rust, you could just paint it and make them look brand new if you wanted to. Okay, here are the finished pieces. I'll take the camera off and give you a close. Okay, for our second project, we're going to put together these pipe connectors. So again, this is what it looks like when you get yours in the mail. So these individual brackets, you get 20 of them. Then you receive 6 straws that are this thickness, and then 6 that are thin. And they're all the same length. Now what we need to do is we need to cut all of these out. Now again, do not throw this out. I'm going to show you at the end of the video what you can do with this. And you'll notice there's circles engraved in it. So set this aside. Now what we need to do is cut out all of those circles. And it's very easy. Very easy. I have a circular file and I just punch those through. I don't even know if you have to cut those. Oh no. Yeah, you just punch them through. And again, save all these little circles. They are just great little detail parts that can be added to spaceships and your diorama or space station that you're building. All right, I'll go ahead and get these circles all cut out, and then I'm going to spray paint these. And for our first project, well, I'm going to spray half of them with a teal color and then half of them with a gray primer. And same with my straws. I'm going to do half my straws with a gray primer and half of them with a teal color. And then I'll come back and show you how we're going to use them. We're going to add some of these details that we just painted to the 2 dioramas that we already built. So these are all painted and dried, and I painted them the teal color. Now we're going to simply glue these in the center of these posts. And I want to make sure that they're perfectly level with the top. Now we'll add some rust to these in a little bit. So we're just going to do 4 of these. Now we're going to start with the thin straws, and we want to cut these so that it's right in the middle of the thickness of those little details that we just glued on. It doesn't have to be exact, but let's do it right in the middle of it. Now we'll very carefully slide it in and then slide it in over here. Okay, now we'll do the same with the large straw. Now be sure to save your little cutoffs because you can add rust and just glue that on your base or on a shelf. It can just be more detailed. Now if you had these in place somewhere, you could connect these, and I'll show you. That's what we're going to do quick. So again, we want to cut these so that it's in the center of those pieces. Those pieces are 1/8 of an inch thick. I'm sorry, I just realized that you couldn't see me install the ones on this side. So let me do it again. So we want to cut these so that it falls right in the center of those. So you just simply cut it to the length you want. We'll slide that side in. So I'm first setting it in the center of that 1/8" thick support. So I'm coming in 1/16, and I'll mark this one right in the center. So I recommend sliding it in one side first, this direction, and then sliding in, because if you try to slide it all the way through, you risk scraping the paint off of the straw. Now, if you only have 2 dioramas, or even just one, you could then take a piece of cardboard and glue it to the end. We'll first paint it to match whatever color you're going with here. Then glue it there, and then take one of the little pieces and glue it right there, and then put 2 little pieces of straw in there so that it connects. Now we can take a couple of our barricades and put those at the end if you want. Okay, we're going to put piping underneath this, just like we did on the dioramas. So I have a bunch of these that I just put a gray primer on, and I'm simply going to glue these underneath. I am going to have to get a ruler and measure this. Now we need one in the center. I was going to measure it, but let me grab the straws and make sure that the straw will reach that distance. We might have to put 2 in there. Okay, I have a ruler so that we can make sure this is all straight. Okay, hold that for a second. Okay, I'll get the rest of these glued in place, and then we'll cut our straws to fit in there. Okay, so as you can see, I've got all my straw cut and glued in place. The entire project I used Loctite super glue. But then to fill, I had some gaps right there where I had to cut the pipes at an angle, and it just didn't quite line up. So I filled the gaps with Eileen's tacky glue. Okay, now we'll just let this dry. I'll let it dry overnight, and then I'll come back and do some painting and weathering to it. Maybe just add a little bit of rust to it. Let me take the camera off and give you a closer look. Such a quick and easy project that I think adds a lot of detail to it. And I'm sure I'll be doing a lot more of it. We'll probably put it along the edge here. Possibly down low in the corner on some other areas over here. There's so many possibilities. You could take this piece and you could glue them all on the front of all of these and then run piping along there. You could even put it on the edge and have piping running down here. Endless possibilities with it. Okay, well, as I promised, we're going to take our leftover pieces and make some stuff out of them. First, we're going to take our frame. And you can see I have it upside down so that these are going down. So we're going to take our ruler, put it right there on the top. I'm going to do it on the other side, and I'll show you after I cut it. So you can see where these are the same height as this. We're going to make a sign out of this. We can take our little circles that were cut out of all of our little brackets and maybe do some decorating. Those are a little big. Let's use these. Now, you could, if you think these are too thick, you could cut them in half. I'm not going to. For the example, I'm just going to use them. I'm just shaving a little bit of the extra off of them. So we're taking these little circles and gluing them in all four corners. And maybe these are just like bolts. Something that will eventually, we're going to make a sign out of this, and these will look like it's just holding it to the wall. Now, if these are too thick, you could definitely cut them in half and make them a little thicker, or thinner, I'm sorry, so they don't, I don't know if you'll be able to tell. So here's this one over here is thinner, it's cut in half. And the one over here is thicker. I'm really hoping you can see those. So if you cut them all in half, there's 20 brackets, so you would have 40 little rivets. I should probably grab my little tweezers. Give me 1 second. Right here. Okay. Now you want to turn it around and make sure that it looks good from all angles, that you've got stuff sort of centered. Okay, so far that is our sign. This is the frame for our sign. Now we can make a sign, and I'll probably go on Google and do a search for some type of sign and we'll put it in the center. But first, let's get a gray primer sprayed on this. Actually, we're going to get a gray primer sprayed on this piece too, and I'll show you what we're going to do with it. Okay, I've got a gray primer sprayed on my frame. I just put a gray primer on this. I took some, it's called tulle, but it's wedding veil material that you can buy at any fabric store. You can probably order it online. And again, it's used for making wedding veils, and it's called tulle, T-U-L-E. And I doubled it and then sprayed it flat black. And then we're going to glue that behind this. Now you could take any material you wanted to and use it as a background. Let me see if I have something else to show you as an example. Here is some red construction paper that's corrugated. And you could spray paint this and use that as a background. Let me quick paint this and we'll see what it looks like behind that. Okay, I took a reddish brown primer and sprayed it over that paper. Let's cut it to the exact size. Even that just looks kind of cool. This could just be a panel in the background. Yeah, that's definitely looking pretty cool. Now we could even, let's see what it looks like if we put the screen over it. I unfolded it so it's not doubled anymore, because I wanted that rust color to really show through. Yeah, that's pretty exciting. I'm cutting that screen to fit exact. Now I'm using a brand new blade. Brand new blade. If you try doing this with a dull blade, it'll snag that screen and just kind of drag it and stretch it, and it won't be good. So, okay, now let's take our super glue. We may have to trim some when we're done. Not bad, not bad. We may want to put some weights on it, let it dry. Okay, I got this Coke sign off the internet, just a Google search. And now I'm taking some dark brown in a sponge and gonna add some dirt and rust around the edges. Now we're going to take the frame and we're going to sponge on some gunmetal gray. Maybe we'll even do a little bit on the sign. Now we'll take some silver. This is light metal. It's a dry brush paint from Ammo. And we're just going to go over some of the corners. Really just try to go where your where you put the gunmetal. Hopefully you can see it really gives it a metal look. I know there's quite a bit of glare, so I'll take the after I get it glued on there, I'll take the camera off and give you a closer look. All right, well, there you go. Don't ever throw away scrap because you never know what it can turn into. All right, now we just have to find a place on a direct docking station to put these. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I sure had a lot of fun with these two projects. And the last project, like I said, don't throw away any scraps because it can all be turned into something. All right, well, a big thank you to all of my Patreons. Man, this channel is not possible without the help of all of these people. All right, well, thank you all so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And until next time, stay motivated and happy modeling, everyone. And don't forget to check out the website at jasonjensentrains.com and visit me on other social media platforms.